The unwitnessed soul. Oh, whatever God or endless, unfeeling void may hear, I ask, if I am not insane, now must I not by every dreadful law of a mind besieged come so? The pillars of my sanity, one by one, crumble into dust. The cold, hard stones of logic and rational thought, upon which I once built my fortress, now feel like the shifting, treacherous sands of a nightmare. The promises of the Bible, that book of supposed holy truth, bear no fruit in this desolate garden. The words turn to ash in my mouth. I find myself in a fog, a miasma of doubt so thick I can no longer see the path. How can I, a spectre at my own feast, a ghost in my own house, tell others to believe? How can I preach of a father's love when I myself have never felt the simple, anchoring grace of respect? I speak not of applause. I speak not of accolades. I speak of the most basic God given right, that which is supposedly endowed to all human beings, the right to be seen, the right to feel that my existence is not a burden, the right to fulfill the purpose you supposedly stitched into my soul before I was ever formed, the right to a life of simple human utility, to feel the quiet satisfaction of a day's worth, and to be loved simply for the form and face you gave me, a design of no choice of my own. This feeling, this sense of belonging, of acceptance, of being a necessary part of the grand, terrible machinery of life, I have never known it, not for a single fleeting hour, not from the mother who bore me, nor the father who cast his shadow over my cradle. I was an aesthetic in their home, a prop for their own grandeur, a void to be filled by their own unfulfilled needs. I was the legacy of the void, and so I am hollow. Now the charlatans of this cold, modern age, the philosophers of the self, they whisper their insidious, lying comforts. They claim that this divine satisfaction, this sense of worth, can be conjured from within, that it can be found in a vacuum, a hermetically sealed chamber of the heart, independent of God, and most cruelly independent of men. What a monstrous, ghastly joke! What self-worshipping, arrogant fool could ever preach such a sermon? They ask the man dying of thirst to find water in the parched dust of his own throat. They ask the man buried alive to find comfort in the velvet blackness of his own coffin. They ask me, the unwitnessed soul, to be my own witness. I say nay. I say that value, by its very nature, by the very laws you set in motion, is relational. It is a sacred, necessary fire that can only be sparked between two souls. What would Michelangelo be if no human eye had ever gazed upon his chapel ceiling? He would be a madman on a scaffold, splashing pigment in an empty, sealed tomb. His brilliance would not exist. What of Einstein? His genius, locked in a drawer, unread, unshared, would be nothing but the meaningless scribbling of a lunatic. And dare I, in this dark night of my soul, dare I hold your own creation to this same dreadful standard? What of Jesus Christ of Nazareth? What of the very God I so desperately, so failingly worship? Was not his entire purpose, his agonizing, glorious sacrifice, a revelation? Was it not an act for us, to us? Was not the cross a performance of divine love for the express purpose of being witnessed by the soul of man? Without the eye of the believer, without the heart of the sinner to receive the act, what meaning would that sacred blood hold? It would be an echo in an empty cosmos, an event without a witness, a tree falling in a forest without an ear to hear. It would be nothing. And so, my God, my void, my eternal silent confessor, I return to this. If this is your design, if nothing, not even genius, not even divinity, has value without a soul to perceive it, then what, in this dreadful echoing silence, am I to make of me? I too am your creation. I am your poem left unread. I am your song sung into a storm. I am your masterpiece, locked in a lightless crypt gathering dust. You gave me this agonizing, intense longing to serve, this fire that burns in a heart with no one to warm. You gave me a purpose, and then you cast me into a wilderness of slander, a sepulchral heart among the living, a straw man built to be torn apart. I have screamed into this darkness for a sign. I have pleaded for a single validating glance from my fellow man, and received only the cold stare of the mob or the vacant gaze of the self-absorbed. And now I turn my face from them, and I look upward into the black, unfeeling, infinite expanse. I plead beyond them. I plead to you. You who designed this system, you who made the witness a necessity, you who abandoned me in this living sepulchre of the unseen. Am I your servant, or am I your failed experiment? I am not insane, not yet, but I am here at the very precipice, and I am telling you the silence is the true madness. Silence is the true void. I have cried out to men, and they are hollow. Now I cry out to you, respond, shatter this suffocating velvet silence. Let me know I am seen, for if I am not seen, I am not,